بسم اللہ الرحمن الرحیم نحمدہ ونصلی علی رسولہ الکریم۔ یہ فیضان نظر تھا یا کہ مکتب کی کرامت تھی، سکھائے کس نے اسماعیل کو آدب فرزندی۔ یعنی یہ ماں باپ کا فیضان تھا یا کہ مکتب کی کرامت تھی۔ یعنی اس کا پیغام جو یہ ہے کہ یہ دونوں الگ نہیں ہیں۔ ماں کی گود سے جو مکتب شروع ہوتا ہے، جو تعلیم شروع ہوتی ہے، جو تربیت شروع ہوتی ہے، اس کا اختتام جا کے مکتب، مدارس، اسکول، کالج، یونیورسٹیوں پہ اس کا اختتام ہوتا ہے۔ اور یہ ایک کمبائنڈ ایفرٹ ہے جو ایک فرد کی تعمیر کرتا ہے، اور اس فرد کی تعمیر سے معاشرے کی تعمیر ہوتی ہے، سوسائٹی کی تعمیر ہوتی ہے، اور سوسائٹی کی تعمیر سے قومیں تعمیر ہوتی ہیں۔ تو ہر ایک کا اپنا ایک مقام ہے، اور ہر شخص کے اندر اللہ تعالیٰ نے خوبیاں پیدا کی ہیں، چونکہ انسان مرکب ہے دونوں چیزوں کا، خوبیوں کا اور خامیوں کا۔ لیکن تعلیم اسکل ہے، وہ ہنر ہے جس کے ذریعے سے اس کی خامیوں کو دبایا جا سکتا ہے اور خوبیوں کو ابھارا جا سکتا ہے۔ بہرحال ہم نے کچھ روز قبل ایک ویڈیو بنایا تھا جس میں اس پورے تعلیمی نظام کی، اسکول ہیرا پبلک اسکول کا جو کانسیپٹ ہے ایجوکیشن کا، اس کا پورا ایک خاکہ پیش کیا گیا تھا کہ وہ کیسے ہونا ہے، اور اس کے کتنے مدارج ہیں، ہاؤ مینی stages of the concept of education. So right from nursery up till 12th and further on preparation for competitive exam, IIT, NEET, NDA, law, so many. ان سب کی تیاری. So I hope کہ آپ لوگوں نے اس کو پڑھا ہے، سنا ہے اور سمجھنے کی کوشش کی کہ ہے کیا چیز، what it is we are going to go through it. کا آبجیکٹیو کیا ہے؟ دیکھیے ہیرا پبلک اسکول کا جو پرزنٹ انفراسٹرکچر ہے آلموسٹ کمپلیٹ ہے۔ یہ بچوں کو بوائز ہاسٹل کے بعد بہت زیادہ تعمیر نہیں ہونی ہے یہاں پہ، اور جو تقریباً اس میں اس وقت 1500 سے اوپر بچے ہیں، زیادہ سے زیادہ 1600 1650 تک جا سکتا ہے، اس سے زیادہ نہیں جا سکتا، کیونکہ جو ہمارا وہ تعلیمی کانسیپٹ ہے اس میں آپ 40-45 بچوں سے زیادہ ایک کلاس میں نہیں رکھ سکتے، اور اس حساب سے جتنے کمرے چاہیے وہ ہیں، موجود ہیں۔ 1600 کے لیے 1650 کے لیے کافی ہوں گے، اس سے زیادہ نہیں ہو سکتے۔ اسی طرح ہاسٹل میں بھی 200 سے 250 کے بیچ میں ہم بچیوں کو اکوموڈیٹ کر سکتے ہیں، اس سے زیادہ نہیں ہو سکتے۔ تو یہ ہم اس کو یہاں پہ فریز کر رہے ہیں فی الوقت، موجودہ وقت کے لیے، فار دا ٹائم بینگ۔ اور نیکسٹ جو فوکس ہوگا نیکسٹ 2-3 ایئرس، وہ اس کے معیار کو، اس کی کوالٹی کو، جو اور فیسلٹیز ہیں، نان انفراسٹرکچر فیسلٹی، سافٹ انفراسٹرکچر، ناٹ ہارڈ انفراسٹرکچر۔ سافٹ انفراسٹرکچر میں بھی مے بی ڈیجیٹائزیشن آف مینی ایکٹیویٹیز، ریسورسز، یوز آف ٹیکنالوجی ان بوتھ ٹیچنگ اینڈ ایڈمنسٹریشن، وہ دوز تھنگس ول کیری آن، وہ چلتی رہیں گی۔ ان کا اپ گریڈنگ، نیو ٹیکنالوجی، دس ول گو آن۔ لیکن ہارڈ انفراسٹرکچر بلڈنگس وغیرہ are not going to be constructed anymore for next 2-3 years at least. So now how do we upgrade the quality? How do we bring higher and better quality? Of course teachers are the key to that process. آپ لوگ جو ہیں اس کی بیسک بنیادی طور پہ اسی کی ہیں۔ تو یہ بہت ضروری ہے کہ آپ ہمارے جو اسکول کی جو تعلیمی نظام ہے، اس کے فلسفے کو، اس کے کانسیپٹ کو سمجھیں۔ یہ کوئی کمرشل انٹرپرائز نہیں، ہیرا پبلک اسکول از ناٹ اے کمرشل انٹرپرائز، اٹ از اے سوشل انٹرپرائز۔ اس میں آف کورس منی از اے ویری امپورٹنٹ ایلیمنٹ آف لائف۔ زندگی میں پیسے کا اہم مقام ہے، کیونکہ پیسے کے بغیر زندگی ممکن نہیں ہے۔ آپ کو بھی پیسہ چاہیے اپنے بال بچوں کی پرورش کرنے کے لیے، اپنا ایک منیمم اسٹینڈرڈ آف لائف، ایک منیمم زندگی کا ایک معیار رکھنے کے لیے۔ اسکول کو بھی چاہیے پیسہ مینٹین کرنے کے لیے۔ اگر ہم نے انفراسٹرکچر بنا کے دے دیا ہے تو اس کی مینٹیننس کیسے ہوگی، اس کی فردر ڈیولپمنٹ کیسے ہوگا، اس کے لیے پیسہ چاہیے۔ سو منی از امپورٹنٹ، بٹ منی از ناٹ دا پرائم آبجیکٹیو۔ It is not as I said, not a commercial enterprise. Difference کیا ہے سوشل انٹرپرائز اور کمرشل انٹرپرائز میں؟ کیا ڈفرینس ہے؟ کمرشل انٹرپرائز میں آپٹیمائزیشن آف پروفٹ، شیئر ہولڈر ویلو، اسٹیک ہولڈرز ویلو از دا مین ٹارگیٹ۔ جو لوگوں نے پیسہ اس میں انویسٹ کیا ہے ان کو وہاں سے کیا ریٹرن مل رہا ہے، دیٹ از اے مین آبجیکٹیو۔ آف کورس اٹ گوز وداؤٹ سیئنگ کہ آپ आपको पैसा तभी ज़्यादा मिलेगा जब आपकी जो भी प्रोडक्ट आप बेच रहे हैं या जो भी सर्विस आप प्रोवाइड कर रहे हैं वो क्वालिटी की होगा और पब्लिक में उसकी डिमांड होगी। अगर पब्लिक में उसकी डिमांड नहीं तो आप सेल नहीं कर सकते, सेल नहीं करेंगे तो पैसा नहीं आएगा, पैसा नहीं आएगा तो प्रॉफिट कहाँ से होगा। तो it is inbuilt, but still they will cut corners, they will what you call press its workers to make the maximum profit. उनको डायरेक्टली वर्कर्स की खुशी और गम से कोई ज़्यादा लेना देना नहीं। आप मेडिकल प्रोफेशन में देख लीजिए, डॉक्टर लोग 24-24 घंटे काम करते हैं कभी कभी और लाखों रुपया कमाते हैं, लेकिन क्या वो खुश हैं? क्या वही ज़िंदगी का नापने का मेयार है? जो सोशल एंटरप्राइज है उसमें जो हम सर्विस दे रहे हैं कम्युनिटी को और जो लोग सर्विस देने में इन्वॉल्व हैं, हमारे टीचर्स हैं जैसे उसमें, किसी दूसरे उसमें हेल्थ में अगर होंगे तो और दूसरे लोग होंगे। एजुकेशन के मैदान में सबसे बड़ा ग्रुप जो हमारे साथ इन्वॉल्व होता है वो टीचर्स का, जो मोस्ट बेसिक मोस्ट इम्पॉर्टेंट सेगमेंट ऑफ पीपल वर्किंग विद अस, तो उनका वेलफेयर। और इस सिनेरियो में जो हमारा कस्टमर कौन है, एक हम सर्विस प्रोवाइड कर रहे हैं, सर्विस बहुत तरह की प्रोवाइड की जाती है, हम एजुकेशन की सर्विस प्रोवाइड कर रहे हैं सोसाइटी को, तो इसमें कस्टमर कौन है? स्टूडेंट्स एंड गार्जियन, डेफिनेटली दे आर आवर कस्टमर। उनके सेटिस्फैक्शन से ही हम प्रोग्रेस कर सकते हैं, उनके सेटिस्फैक्शन के बगैर वी कैनॉट प्रोग्रेस। तो the system which I have thought of after a lot of observation, lot of studies, lot of traveling, seeing lot of schools, उसका gist जो है, उसका निचोड़ जो है, I have put it in this concept। अच्छा, दूसरा फर्क जो मैंने कहा कमर्शियल एंटरप्राइज सोशल एंटरप्राइज में, कि उसका जो मोटिव है वो है प्रॉफिट, प्योर प्रॉफिट, मैक्सिमाइजेशन ऑफ ऑप्टिमाइजेशन ऑफ प्रॉफिट और शेयर होल्डर वैल्यू। आज के मॉडर्न टर्मिनोलॉजी में उसको बोलते हैं शेयर होल्डर वैल्यू ऑप्टिमाइजेशन। सर्विस एंटरप्राइज में इज द वेलफेयर ऑफ द पीपल whom you are trying to serve. That is the most important, the satisfaction of the people who are involved and who you are trying to serve. Like in this case, the most important is the student and the parents, and second most important is the teachers who are actually providing the service. Because if they are not happy, if they are not satisfied, then they will not provide their best. But at the same time, we need certain level of certain quality, certain benchmark for teachers, below which the quality is not acceptable. And next thing is, if we are providing this framework of service to the society, do all our teachers and indeed all our workers, including the administration, including even at the bottom rung, at the lowest step of our hierarchy, are they aware of what is our ideal, what we are trying to do? Most likely they are not aware, or not aware to the sufficient degree. They may know, they may have heard words here and there from me, from many people, but they really do not grasp the real concept. So this meeting, before this we had the meeting with our core group when I presented it first. Now this is, I thought all the teachers will be there, but probably about 40 of them are here, another 30 are missing. So this is the basic approach to education in our model of education, which is God consciousness, spiritual fulfillment, and a pleasant persona. This is what we are trying to instill in whom? In the student. This is what God consciousness, spiritual fulfillment, and pleasant persona. Pleasant persona means a smiling personality. Second is adequate knowledge base. Third is communication and interpersonal skills. Do you understand what do we mean by communication and interpersonal skills? How to understand others and how to express yourself properly and how to interact with each other. Interpersonal skills, they call emotional IQ, is the basis of interpersonal skills. When you understand person what is before he says what he's going to say, you can understand from his body language. You do not use offensive words. You do not have an aggressive behavior. These are interpersonal skills. Personal discipline and self-confidence. When you speak with confidence. That can only come when you have knowledge. If you do not have knowledge, you will not have self-confidence. Personal discipline, I'm sure you all understand what it means. Like keeping time, waqt ki pabandi is a personal discipline. Taking care of your health, eating the right food, a right physical exercise regime. All these are personal discipline. without which you will not have a healthy life. And if you do not have a healthy life, you cannot be an educator, real educator. You cannot really do justice with your duty. If I am not healthy, if I have diabetic, blood pressure, all those kinds of things which in my age a lot of people have. In fact, majority of the people have. If I had those things, do you think I can stand here and speak to you? Really? Can put my thoughts like that? No. So the health is, in fact, before everything else, because without health you will not be able to do justice to the duty which is given to you. आपको जो जिम्मेदारी दी गई है आप उसको fulfill नहीं कर सकते अगर आपकी health नहीं है. तो health is a very important part and comes under personal discipline. Creative, resourceful and positive attitude. आपको कोई काम दिया गया है तो दो तरह की पर्सनालिटीज होती हैं. एक उसमें बहाने निकालती हैं कि सर ये नहीं है, मेरे पास ये नहीं है, ये कैसे होगा, ये कैसे होगा, और 10 तरह के सवाल. लेकिन जो क्रिएटिव, रिसोर्सफुल एंड पॉजिटिव एटीट्यूड वाला होता है सर हो जाएगा. आई विल फाइंड द वे टू डू इट. इफ एनीथिंग आई विल कम बैक टू इट. तो ये डिफरेंस है नेगेटिव और पॉजिटिव एटीट्यूड में. पॉजिटिव एटीट्यूड वाला उसको पॉजिटिव मुस्बत अंदाज में देखता है, उसको करने की कोशिश करता है. और जो नेगेटिव मनफी फिक्र वाला इंसान है वो उसमें तरह तरह की जवाब निकालता है कि क्यों नहीं हो सकता है. समझा आपने. जो दूसरा वो क्यों नहीं हो सकता. दोनों में बड़ा फ़र्क है ना. फिजिकल फिटनेस एंड हेल्थ अवेयरनेस आई जस्ट डिस्क्राइब अर्लियर. एथिकल बिहेवियर एंड लीडरशिप क्वालिटीज़. Ethics is the very fundamental basis of society. If society is not ethical, then it's... What do you mean by ethical society? Ethical person? Anybody? Yeah? What is ethics?
Moral responsibility.
Okay, yes. I mean, it's in a nutshell, it's a moral responsibility. Means to be truthful, to be honest, to be moral, not immoral. Means if you say you will do something, you will do it. Most of the time you will do it. True to your word. So that's an ethical person, and if majority of people in society are ethical, then it is an ethical society. You borrow money from a friend and say I will pay you back in 1 week, and you forget for 1 year. You think that's ethical? No, that's not. That is very unethical. First thing, you mustn't promise 1 week if you're not sure you can do it. Second thing, if you promise 1 week, you must be 1 week, no more. Your waqt ki pabandi. If you are not conscious about time and say, 5 minutes, 10 minutes late in the class is fine, no problem. You think it's ethical? No, it's not ethical. Okay, next one. So the concept of holistic education described here is basically, first thing is to make the person or the student in this case a good human being. That is the first objective. And then second objective is knowledgeable in both the spheres of life, spiritual as well as the worldly affairs, material world. In दोनों में he should have knowledge. So the overall personality development of the student with the desired personality traits and skill sets, instead of some arbitrary exam marks or grades. I mean, the grades or marks are only one indicator of his IQ or capacity to memorize and reproduce in the exam. It is not an indication of his overall personality, how he will behave in society, how he will lead people under his jurisdiction, how he will resolve day-to-day issues in family and in society at large. That does not indicate it. That one is mostly, that knowledge and that capacity is built by holistic education, where he has got a moral imperative, got consciousness, ethical behavior. So all those things are, in final analysis, actually they are more important is grades and marks. In today's corporate world, if you have, let's say a person has got 95% mark and another person has got 90% marks, overall his performance in academic performance. But 90% marks person is an outward person, an outward personality, not inward. And he can communicate very well, he can express himself, he can understand the thing. Whereas the 95% fellow is introvert, doesn't speak much, he cannot communicate properly. You think the corporate is going to take who? 90%. Very clear. Maybe research, this guy might be good for research and PhD and other things, because he can work alone. He is not a person who can interact usefully with other people. So you understand the imperative, you understand the criteria, why. Now the rest of now this is actually the philosophical basis, epistemological. How many people understand the word epistemology? What is it?
Theory of knowledge.
Theory of knowledge. This is theory of knowledge. Philosophy of knowledge is called as epistemology. So the philosophical basis, a theoretical basis of education, of holistic education, it is described in this, that humans are spiritual, social and rational beings in that order. God has created human being as a spiritual being. That means uska fitra hai. Deen is actually, Islam is a deen fitra. Jo basic understanding of religion. What is the most fundamental thing in any religion? Anybody? What is center of religion? Heart of religion. Mazhab का जो दिल है वो क्या है? God है और क्या है? What else can be? It's God. God का concept तो हर religion में है ना, जिस form में भी हो. So the God is the center of religion. So spiritual consciousness that there is a superpower beyond us human beings, beyond this world, is actually part and parcel of our nature. Most of the people, even the most primitive tribal societies, have a concept of God. They worship something supernatural, beyond themselves, a transcendental power, we say, higher and higher. So that is the spiritual. We are spiritual beings. We have spirituality built in our nature, in our fitrah. Even people, a lot of people who have no religion at all, but there must be a superpower. There must be a power who has created this whole universe, because there is no other explanation for the existence of this universe. So the spirituality is part. Then we are social animals. We are not. A lot of other animals are also social, have social structure, like buffaloes. They go in wild buffaloes. They have a big number and always move together. You see the lions, they live like a family. There's a lion, there's a lioness, there's the cubs, and they hunt together. Like they have but their social structure is very primitive. There's not that much of interaction. But humans have a very advanced social structure. We form villages, we form communities, we have very cohesive family. So the social structure. And then we are rational beings. Rational beings means we think logically. 2 plus 2 is always 4, not 5, not 3. That's rational thinking. That's logical thinking. So we have 3 traits: spiritual, social and rational. And any man-made system that does not recognize all the 3 dimensions of human existence in due and balanced proportion will not resonate with the fundamental nature of man and will be found wanting sooner or later. So any system of education which does not recognize all 3, spiritual, social, rational, आप इतने स्पिरिचुअल मत हो जाइए कि वो इरेशनल हो जाए. इट विल नॉट वर्क. वहाँ से घड़ी आ गई हाथ में साहब, आपको ताबीज़ दे दिया, आपका कैंसर चला गया. दिस आर इरेशनल. दुआ और ताबीज़ अल्लाह ताला ने इसलिए नहीं पैदा की, कैंसर के इलाज के लिए नहीं पैदा किया. वो उसकी बरकत है, ठीक है, लेकिन उसका इलाज आपको करना पड़ेगा. उसके साथ दुआ करिए, फिर उसका असर होगा. बिकॉज इट्स अ फिजिकल मैलिग्नेंस, इट्स अ फिजिकल एलिमेंट, और उसका इलाज आपको करना है. इससे अल्लाह ताला कुरान में फरमाता है कि कोई ऐसी बीमारी नहीं है जिसका इलाज मैंने नहीं पैदा किया. तो कुरान की आयत है कि दुनिया में कोई ऐसी बीमारी नहीं है जिसका इलाज हमने नहीं पहले से कर दिया है. तो आप उस इलाज को तलाश कीजिए, उसको यूज कीजिए. नहीं तो अल्लाह ताला कहते हैं कि कोई भी बीमारी हो, बैठ के दुआ करो और ठीक हो जाएगी. So that is irrational. Rational is that you go for, based on the human knowledge, what is the best knowledge available, use that knowledge to cure your disease. Okay, that is rational thinking. Any system of education, जैसे मॉडर्न एजुकेशन है, आपकी स्कूल में गए, वहाँ पे आपको सारे सब्जेक्ट्स जो भी और कुछ डिसिप्लिन, स्पोर्ट्स, ये वो सिखाएगा. कॉलेज गए, यूनिवर्सिटी गए, स्पिरिचुअलिटी का कोई कॉन्सेप्ट नहीं है मॉडर्न एजुकेशन के अंदर. कंटेंट इन दैट, moral maybe a little bit, but spiritual absolutely not. So in what we have tried to do is create a balanced system. That's why we call it holistic approach, holistic model of education, where we start with the moral and spiritual content, and then basic fundamental education of language, mathematics, and then progress year by year and try to make the personality of the child complete in all 3 aspects of these elements of his personality. Spiritual, yes, say again. Social, spiritual, social. That's why, I mean, like what we do in the very simple example, social is like what you do in your brain starts when the children share the lunch. lunch. That is a social interaction. You teach them that we live in a society together and it's our duty to share things. So that sharing concept is a social education. Why not to shout in the class? Raise your voice. Don't raise your voice in the class because it disturbs the teaching process. Okay? Do not fight with each other. Respect each other. Do not take each other's things. These are all social aspects. These are social rules they learn and then they accept that this is wrong, this is right, this is wrong, this is right. That is social. Social is more or less when you live in a group, how to behave with each other. That is social. Okay? So rest is actually quite from the concept, what I have described so far is the concept. What is the rest of the thing? How do you implement this from primary, nursery to primary to secondary and so on, so forth. I want you to really read and understand. First thing, you must understand the concept and then how it is implemented. And if you have any questions, if you have any doubts, then you should come forth. I mean, how many of you have really gone through it earlier? आपने सब पढ़ लिया है और सारा मेथड एब्जॉर्ब कर लिया है, तो इसमें कोई क्वेश्चंस, कोई डाउट, कोई इंक्वायरी, एनीथिंग? Don't accept in wholesale. You must, I'm sure you must have doubts. Anybody? देखिए, या तो आपने वाकई समझाना ही है पूरी तरह से और या तो पूरी तरह अभी पढ़ाई नहीं है. मैं इस पोर्शन को यहीं पे छोड़ता हूँ क्योंकि वरना बहुत ज़्यादा टाइम लगेगा. We will have a session maybe in 10 days, 15 days just on how you are going to implement it and what. I mean, I really basically want that session full of questions from you. You see, Sir Sayyid and Allama Shibli's concept of education was exactly this. I'm not inventing it from some, I'm not inventing it myself. I have written a paper, Allama Shibli's educational philosophy, about 5-6 pages. You can read that also. I can ask, Faiz has got a copy, distribute to all of you. You must read that. That has got a lot of bit of history. Sir Sayyid was definitely a holistic approach to education. But what has happened? Is Aligarh providing that? Is Shibli College providing that? No. They fall in the trap. They just go into the just modern education. They're no different from any other college, isn't it? Are they different? No, they're not different. Maybe Aligarh has got a bit of cultural aspect. They got a religious department. They got theology department. But that's not the main objective is people coming out must be more ethical, more social, more human. So that objective, Sir Sayyid's great motto, if I may say, was the students will have science in one hand and Quran in other and the crown of La ilaha illallah. He gave the example of banyan tree, which is prevalent in this part of our country, which is very huge, which has got a lot of roots coming down to the ground. What he was trying to say is that our students, wherever they are, will be the focal point, the most prominent figure of society and the part where they live. And they will spread throughout the country and create institutions like Aligarh. It did not happen. It happened, but not to the extent which was desired. So most of the time, this is what happens when founders or thought leaders create something in 2-3 generations, it is diluted. How do we do? Of course, it's not in our hands to do anything to really do. I mean, finally, what is fated will happen. But we have to make certain attempt to inculcate what our thoughts are, our values are into people who are involved with us, who are taking part in that movement. And you people are the most fundamental. आप सबसे ज़्यादा इम्पॉर्टेंट सतून है उस मूवमेंट की, इस तालीमी इनकलाब की. तो इसमें जो अखलाकी, मॉरल, रूहानी अनासिर हैं तालीम के, बहुत इम्पॉर्टेंट है. इनके बगैर तालीम मुकम्मल नहीं हो सकती. ऑफ कोर्स हमारा दुनिया में जीने के लिए भी हमको सरबुलंद होना है. वी नीड टू बी वेरी सक्सेसफुल इन द वर्ल्ड एज वेल. बट ऑफन इट इज सीन कि जो लोग अखलाकी तौर पर कैरेक्टर वाइज स्ट्रांग हैं वही नुमायाँ भी होते हैं. बहुत बड़ी नॉलेज वाला का बहुत जल्दी मेमोरी चली जाती है. तो हमें बच्चों को इस लायक बनाना है डेफिनेटली कि वो नीट कॉम्पीट कर सकें, जेई कॉम्पीट कर सकें, दूसरे कॉम्पिटिटिव टॉप यूनिवर्सिटीज़ में एडमिशन ले सकें. लेकिन वो सब बेईमानी होगा, इसमें कोई मानवीयत नहीं होगी अगर वो एक अच्छे इंसान, अच्छे शहरी नहीं बने. तो दोनों में हमें बैलेंस करना है, आवर वर्ल्डली नीड एंड आवर स्पिरिचुअल नीड. और जब तक हम ये बैलेंस को कायम रखेंगे इंशाल्लाह वी विल बी सक्सेसफुल, विल बी कामयाबी हमें मिलेगी. अगर हमने बैलेंस को छोड़ दिया देन वी विल become like all other schools. Students come, they learn, they go. Right. अब इसके बाद जो है ये हो गया स्ट्रेटेजिक प्लानिंग, फीडबैक एंड डिस्कशन. इसमें फीडबैक feedback और discussion के लिए I really want in 10-15 days I'm going to hold another session and everybody is going to be here. We'll find a time when everybody can be here and I want real interaction. समझा आपने? आप जब उसको पढ़ेंगे अच्छी तरह समझेंगे तभी सवाल जहन में ये सब सुपरफिशियली आप पढ़ेंगे तो ठीक है, बहुत अच्छा लग रहा है पढ़ना। आपको ये सोच के पढ़ना है कि मुझे इसको इम्प्लीमेंट करना है तो मैं कैसे करूँगा, क्या प्रॉब्लम्स आएंगी, क्या सवालात उठेंगे इसको इम्प्लीमेंट करने में, इसको एग्जीक्यूट करने में। ओके, वी आर गोइंग टू make this campus English speaking campus within 2 years starting from now. 2 sessions after this session we're going to give time. We are going to have campaigns, you're going to poster campaigns and you will be marked in the campus for not speaking English. It does not mean we want to have the same standard for Urdu. And I don't expect Urdu teachers or Arabic teachers or Hindi teachers to speak English. Definitely in their classroom they will speak that language, but they also must have a minimum conversation capacity in English. Somebody from outside comes, can greet him, can find out what does he want. May I help you, sir? Who do you like to meet? Welcome to Hera Public School. I mean, some simple phrases. Everybody, eventually even to the watchman, we're going to give him proper training, and this one will become an English speaking campus. This is our target, and we are going to have grading of our teachers, those who follow, those who do not follow, and this will reflect into their promotions and rewards. Okay, so that was the second thing. Cleanliness. You think our campus is clean? I'm asking a question. Our campus is clean? Yes or no? Okay, raise your hand. How many think our campus is sufficiently clean? Sufficiently clean. I mean, there's no absolute cleanliness. It doesn't exist. But at least sufficiently clean. How many you think is right? My statement is right. Only 4-5 people are saying it is sufficiently clean. So that means the rest think it is not sufficiently clean. Is it right? Not sufficiently clean? Raise your hands. Not sufficiently clean. This is the problem. 4 people said sufficiently clean, only 5 people said not sufficiently clean, only 9. And how many are sitting here? I have no opinion. This is not participation, you see. You must have an opinion. Either yes or no, you may have your reason for it, but you're just sitting, no opinion, it's like you are dumb, you're dead, no life. You're not participating actually. So, cleanliness needs to be further. I think compared to other schools, we are reasonably clean but that's only comparatively speaking. I want to take that standard to higher level. See, environment is a very important thing. Ecosystem, where it's clean, tidy, beautiful, flowers, leaves, that's when the knowledge blossoms. Knowledge will also blossom in that environment. It's very important. Where dirt, filth, everything everywhere. You think it's a conducive environment for learning for children? No, it's not. So it's very important. And for us, it is part of our Iman. Cleanliness is half of our Iman. So where is the Iman? You have been told already, we are going to implement HRA module, Human Resource Administration, and we all digitize your performance, your ratings and your appointments and your job descriptions. This will be all in due course within very short time. It will be all delivered to you. This one, coaching as an integrated program. This is where we are very different from other schools. Other schools, what happens? Students come from nursery, go to 12th. And then after 12, they have passed 12, then they start thinking about competitive exams, this and that, coachings and all these things. What we have tried to do is integrate coaching in our school system itself. We are running foundation courses from 6 onwards. That means selected students. See, not everybody is designed by God to be a doctor, an engineer, or a scientist, a lawyer. Just human beings are a group of people where one complements the other. There can be only one leader in a certain group. Just like when the whole universe, so there can be only one God. If there are 3-4 gods, what will happen? They will fight, right? Today it should rain or be shining. So similarly, to lead a society, to lead a family, or to lead a nation, can be only one leader. Otherwise, there will be problems. There will be conflict. So leadership quality is very important. So what I was saying is, among the students, we have, on the basis of psychometric tests, we identify which students are capable of or have the potential to go for competitive exams, and those students are given foundation courses. So we have integrated that. I mean, of course, the foundation course is same as your syllabus for CBSE, ICSE, but probably at a higher level, so that these students are ready when they go to class 9, again do the foundation, higher level foundation course, and then when they finish, by the time they finish 12, they're already ready to sit for they don't have to go and look for the coaching center and all that. And if they need another 1 year or so, some of them may need, then we have the facility here to provide them for the coaching, for the guidance, for the development. And so that is what we mean by integrating it into our, probably Sadiq sir will make it more elaborate because it is his idea actually. Teachers training. This is going to be a very regular feature. And this training, all these things about our concept of education. In fact, the whole philosophy of the objective of establishing this school, we ask again and again. Again, I am asking today, how many of you have read the vision and mission of this school? How many? Please raise hands, including Principal Saab. Yeah. So just count, please. Stand up and count. How many of you really read the mission and the vision of this school?
About 30.
All of them, is it?
About 90%.
Okay, 90%. So it's very important, because if you are here as a teacher and this is your profession and you're here for long term, then it's very important that you understand what is the reason for establishing this school. What is the thought, what is the idea, great idea behind establishing this school. If you understand that idea, then it will help you really in your work. At every step it will help you. That's the idea behind that. This should be implemented. This should be reflected in your life and the life of the growth of the children, students. The next topic is participatory teaching. Any of you who understand what is meaning by participatory teaching? What is a participatory teaching? You see, on the left side, we have the method of presentation. And the percentage given is the average retention ratio. That means if I tell you 10 things, 5% means you only 0.5, half. Means if you tell you 100 things, only 5 will you remember. The other 95 you will forget. So if I just lecture, then only 5%. If you do reading yourself from the book, then only 10% you retain. That's visual. You see it. If it is audio visual, that means you see pictures and something is being narrated to you, audio visual means listening and visual. So now then you retain 20%. Demonstration, that means actually do it as like an experiment, then we will retain 30%. Discussion, that means question answer, thoroughly dissecting the issue and everybody gets involved, then only 50%. Then practice doing it. And if you start doing yourself that thing, then you will retain 75% of it. And last, teach others. After practicing, you go and teach to somebody. If I teach you mathematics problem, if I teach you, after a few days, maybe only 1 or 2 people will remember it, how to do it. But if I ask you, you prepare now and you go and teach, I'm sure all of them will understand it. All of them will retain it. 90% retention. So this is called, there's a word, active learning. The participatory learning is not in this. It is actually the last part is a participatory learning. That means you participate in learning by teaching. This is the reason. On the other day, both in Pradesh Star and Hera Public School. Pradesh Star, we told you guys to put stories on the smart screen and let the students listen to the story. Who is here from Pradesh Star? Raise your hands. That day Zara, and who was the other teacher? So that is a participatory. When the student listens to the story and then he is asked to recite the story, tell the story. That is a participatory. It's like same like as teach others or practice doing it. That is a participatory. The student listens to the story and then you ask him to recite it back, retell the story. So that is a participatory learning. And he participates. Otherwise he is passive. He just sits and listens only. So by participatory learning, the two things happen. One thing is he learns better, he retains much better, and then his communication skill is developed because he has to retell the story. His shyness and his vocabulary improves. His shyness is removed. Same thing I have told Razik that day. Razik here? All teachers in this school, you need to do the same thing in your. That means you give a topic to the student, you prepare and you come and teach on the board. This is done maybe once in a week or twice in a week, and different students. They should come to the stage and as if they are the teacher, and they will give the lecture. First thing is learning takes place. He has to learn, otherwise he will not be able to speak. Then his stage fear is removed, his vocabulary is improved, and he develops communication skills. This is participatory learning. Next is the topic is a quiz about teachers and students. We are going to organize. So आप दोनों आदमी की रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी इसको ऑर्गेनाइज करना एंड फॉर्मुलेट द क्वेश्चंस एंड फॉर द टीचर्स क्विज इट विल बी ऑल अबाउट एथिक्स अबाउट द स्कूल्स फिलोसफी अबाउट आवर कॉन्सेप्ट ऑफ philosophy of education, all these things, mostly about these things, not your subject matter. I know you can, that is a different aspect. But this to bring you in tune, आपको इस स्कूल का जो मिजाज है, जो इसकी रूह है, जो इसकी स्पिरिट है, उसके मुताबिक ले आना है. क्योंकि जब तक आप इसके मुताबिक नहीं आएंगे, जब तक आप इसमें मर्ज नहीं होंगे, आप वो काम नहीं कर पाएंगे जो हम चाहते हैं आपसे. तो इस स्कूल की रूह को समझना, इसकी स्पिरिट को, इस मूवमेंट को समझना. देखिए, इस स्कूल का जो एक बहुत बड़ा मकसद है वो है पूरे माशरे की ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन. तालीम के जरिए से इस माशरे को तब्दील करना है, तालीम के जरिए से. ये बच्चे निकल के, ये बच्चे जो आज तिफल मकतब हैं, वो कल यूनिवर्सिटी ग्रेजुएट्स होंगे और ज़िंदगी के मैदान में आएंगे, माँ बाप बनेंगे और फिर अपने माशरे में लीडरशिप रोल अदा करेंगे. और इसी तरह माशरा, सोसाइटी चेंज होती है. अगर ये अच्छे होंगे तो सोसाइटी अपने आप अच्छी हो जाएगी. हाउ टू इम्प्लीमेंट इट. फर्स्ट थिंग, आउट ऑफ 70-40 इज वेरी बैड नंबर. ऑल 70 शुड बी हियर. सो सेकंड, थिंक अबाउट हाउ यू आर गोइंग टू इम्प्लीमेंट दिस. थैंक यू वेरी मच. अल्लाह हाफिज़. रास्तों के सन्नाटे, मंजिलों की दुश्वारी. रास्तों के सन्नाटे, मंजिलों की दुश्वारी है तमाम अंदेशे कदम बढ़ाने तक. इस बात को क्या जाने साहिल के तमाशाई. इस बात को क्या जाने साहिल के तमाशाई. हम डूब के समझे हैं दरिया तेरी गहराई. हादसा वो जो अभी पर्दे अफलाक में है, अक्स उसका मेरे आईने इदराक में है. न सितारे में है, नए गर्दिशे अफलाक में है. तेरी तकदीर तेरे नाले बेबाक में है. क्या अजब मेरी नवाहाय सेहरगाही से. क्या अजब मेरी नवाहाय सेहरगाही से. जिंदा हो जाए वो आतश कि तेरी खाक में है. तोड़ डालेगी यही खाक तिलिस्मे शब रोज. तोड़ डालेगी यही खाक तिलिस्मे शब रोज. गर्ज उलझी हुई तकदीर की बेचाक में है. रसूली तालबी अल-फिराक वशौक़ क़द मलअ अल-आफ़ाक़ वशौक़ القلب مقصد. عيني يذرف والقلب حبا يرجف وأنا. Thank you very much for your time and attention. Inshallah we'll move forward from here.